So again, as we kind of go through the trials and tribulations of humanity as depicted in the Revelation of St. John the Divine, we have a voice that breaks into the action that says, "See, I'm coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who stays awake and is clothed." And what that is the voice of Jesus breaking into the narrative of how basically these are symbol sets for how the powers of this earth and how political chaos and conflict and geopolitical conflict is going to be breaking out. And in the middle of all this, in a sense, it's almost as if the faithful, hearing this vision, become frightened at the sheer violence that's unleashed in the world by human kind of death-dealing violence. And in the middle of all that, the voice of Jesus breaks through. It's kind of like, basically, don't forget, people. I'm still with you. I'm still here. Stay awake. Keep your eyes open. It's again, it's a word from the Gospels with which we're familiar in the Gospels when the Gospels describe the second parousia, the second coming of Jesus, and in which we're called to be awake, to be ready to receive Jesus into our lives in a powerful way. So Jesus, in a sense, in this part of the book of Revelation, in the midst of political conflict, in the midst of a violent world, we're called to hear Jesus's voice breaking through the cacophony, breaking through the din, and to hear that voice clearly tell us to stay awake, to let us know that he is with us and that his kingdom, the power of love is going to be breaking out. And blessed is the one who is clothed, a metaphor for the taking on of Jesus's life, the taking on of Jesus's mission and his love. Blessed are those who take that on, because if in the midst of the world, if you go into the world without that, you're going to be naked. You'll be utterly vulnerable to what the world throws at you. So Jesus is basically saying, don't be afraid. Keep your eyes open for how I am continuing to work in your life and the life of your community, the life of the church, because after all, the revelation is given not to an individual, but to be shared with the church. Don't be afraid. Know that the power of love will be vindicated, even when things are at their darkest. The sixth angel poured his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up in order to prepare the way for the kings from the east. And I saw 3 foul spirits like frogs coming from the mouth of the dragon, from the mouth of the beast, and from the mouth of the false prophet. These are demonic spirits performing signs, who go abroad to the kings of the whole world to assemble them for battle on the great day of God the Almighty. See, I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who stays awake and is clothed, not going about naked and exposed to shame. And they assembled them at the place that in Hebrew is called Armageddon. The seventh angel poured his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the temple from the throne, saying, "It is done." And there came flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, and a violent earthquake, such as had not occurred since people were upon the earth, so violent was that earthquake. The great city was split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. God remembered great Babylon and gave her the wine cup of the fury of his wrath. And every island fled away, and no mountains were to be found. And huge hailstones, each weighing about 100 pounds, dropped from heaven on people until they cursed God for the plague of the hail. So fearful was that plague. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.